Train the muscles, not the joints.
Welcome back to Natural Gallant Bodybuilding. Mountain, mountain, mountain. I don't even know what I was pointing at. Just thought I'd point generally in that vicinity. And it just so happens there is a mountain in that direction. So you're welcome. So today I want to talk to you a little bit about one of the ideologies that I've noticed have kept a lot of bodybuilders back. A lot of natural bodybuilders have not been able to make gains at all because of a comment that was just made on my channel. I mean, I always get these, right? Every time I have a video that gets a little bit more views, I always get this psychotic, crazy person that like they get so triggered and so mad because I'm not doing things the way they see that I should be doing them. Like this guy commented, I'm sick of these amateurs teaching people how to train wrong. And I think this guy obviously doesn't know who the hell he's talking to because I was a pro, national champ, all that kind of stuff. You know, don't make me list it off like, you know, 3 touchdowns in a single game like Al Bundy here. But the bottom line is that people have these weird fanatical ideals. It's almost like a religious fanaticism about moving a certain way or training a certain way. And if you get results training differently than they did, even though they have no results, because that's usually the case. Usually they have very little results and they get so mad at you. It's almost like, I guess it's kind of like the turtle passing the hare in the race. You know, maybe the hare gets just as pissed off. I don't know. But over the years, I've seen a lot of people with certain ideologies. But one thing I want to say to you is that if you have an ideology, but it's not producing results, then the ideology is shit. It's that simple. You know, so I had lots of guys, they're invested in the pretty reps. Like everything has to be pretty and it has to be perfect form and everything. And they're okay using weights about the same weight as tissue paper, as long as they can get that perfect form, right? And if they get that perfect form, they think, oh yeah, this is great, I'm gonna get more results. But the truth is that perfect form doesn't always challenge your body, or at least provoke it into putting on muscle. So, like I've said before, I can go all the way up and all the way down with the exact same weights that I do partial reps with. But what I find is that when I go all the way down, it takes the stress off my muscle belly and then puts it onto the joints. And then I notice there's more wear and tear on the joints in the successive days. So the truth is that if you're training, but you're getting wear and tear on the joints, eventually you're going to snap something, or you're just going to get so sore in the joints that you're not going to be able to push your muscles anymore. And there you go. You're not going to get any results. You're not going to get any muscular results. So as much as some people can do perfect range of motion or longer ranges of motion, or they have reps that are looking prettier with heavy weight, it doesn't mean that that's exactly appropriate for you and your individual situation. And I know I'm like a parrot, you know, squawking the same message over and over again. But I was doing some squats yesterday, and you know me, I don't go really low in squats. I go about 90 degrees at the knee, but there's a little bit lower that I go than what I think I should. And yesterday, I just stopped where I thought I should stop and lift it again. Kind of like if I was getting ready to jump. If I was going to jump with 2 legs and try to slam dunk a basketball or something, I went down to that depth. And that's what I stayed with 4 plates. And today my legs are on fire. Like they're sore as hell. All the forces got focused in on the legs where I wanted to hit them. And I got absolutely no knee tightness at all. Now, when I go lower, yeah, I can still do the reps. But the problem is that I noticed that there's a transfer of the stress from the legs onto the ass. And you know that I've got a big ass. And at the same time, I noticed that my knees take a little bit more stress and they're a little bit sore the next day. I don't really want that. And again, for you exercise purists out there, they're like, oh, just do some stretching and everything. I've done all that. I've been at this 35 years. I've done all sorts of different stretches, exercises, all sorts of stuff. But the truth is that there is an efficient range of motion for my body type. And this range of motion, which is well above parallel on the squat, I find that I'm able to use higher amounts of poundages with less wear and tear on the joints and more stress on the muscles. So the truth is that a prettier rep does not necessarily equate to more stress on the muscle. And that's what we're after when we're trying to do this whole bodybuilding thing. You're lifting weights to gain muscle, to gain strength endurance, and your joints are taking a pounding, but beating them half to death is not going to make you adapt better. It's going to injure you in the long run or sideline your progress because you're going to be dealing with aches and pains and all this stuff. So case in point, there's a bunch of guys at my gym. They're all using knee wraps. You know why? Because they want to get lower in their squat. And when they don't use the knee wraps, you know what happens? They get knee pain. Well, gee, what do you think's happening, right? I don't use knee wraps. I don't use a belt, and I squat and I get lots of weight going, and my stabilizer muscles are getting worked hard and they're strong now because of it. But I'm not using all this auxiliary equipment because I don't need to, because I'm not trying to push my body into ranges of motion that are not appropriate for it. So all I'm going to say to you is that there's a time and place for pretty reps. When you're doing the high reps and whatever, and you're trying to really isolate, go ahead, go do that. But if that's all you're doing and you're not getting results, I'm telling you, it's a good chance that you're just not pushing yourself in weight or really experimenting and being honest with yourself of what is the perfect range of motion for a certain body part or a certain exercise. And I encourage you to break free of this crazy thinking that a rep has to look a certain way. Like back in the day, guys trained in the gym and they just accepted the different ways that different people moved. As long as the intensity was there and somebody was taking that muscle to failure, there's going to be results. So it's hilarious how people always have this pissing contest going on where they're like, oh, that guy didn't go low enough. But yeah, but did he take the muscle to absolute failure or not? If he took his muscles to failure, he's still going to get some results. And if he's getting better results than you, maybe you should be looking at what he's doing instead of preaching what you're doing. That's really what I got to say. So yeah, trust yourself, trust your body. Do what you want and screw everybody else, honestly. Like screw the entire world. If they're telling you you're doing something wrong, but your body's telling you otherwise, I say listen to your body, Mountain. So I hope this helps you out in your training. Thanks a lot for watching. If you need to get a hold of me, just go to naturalgalantbodybuilding.com. And thanks a lot for the patron supporters, and take care for now. Oh yeah!